It is time for AEW All In 2025 predictions, review, and we're going to look at the whole show. Welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, where myself, Mike Cefaletto, Mr. Sean O'Neill are going to break it down, and we are going to talk to you guys today about AEW All In Texas. It's the big stadium show that's going on for AEW. It's their time to hopefully get that damn title off of John Moxley. And Sean, let's get into it here. Let's talk about what we think about the show overall, where it's going, and the so far 8 announced matches for the card, potentially a ninth on the pre-show. So before we get into the matches individually, what's your expectations for the show, and how are you feeling going into it?
So AEW doesn't do the amount of pay-per-views that WWE does, so they need their pay-per-views to have more impact. And I mean, this one the All In shows are one of they're basically their big four. And I think that they need this to succeed. Like as it is, people are already starting to not really consider them competition to WWE at this point. And if they can't get that turned around, they're they need to get it fixed at these pay-per-views. And a big part of that is that main title picture, which we'll talk about when we get to it. I'm just hoping that we don't have another case of everybody leaving disappointed again with some sort of nonsensical ending.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly looks like, I don't know, there's some question marks still on the card here, but like some of the matches seem like they could be pretty good. And I'm kind of glad that they're sticking with 8. Like, I think
Yeah,
that that's a good number because normally it's like 10 to 12. And frankly,
yeah,
that's too much. I think 8 is a good number for this card. And I think every match, for the most part, has stakes, I
yep.
think, which is good, right? And I don't know. Let's get into it, I guess. So for starters, let's talk about the tag team match between the Young Bucks and Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. I think this match is going to be awesome. I mean, all four of these guys are great. I mean, I've said on this podcast many times my feelings on the Young Bucks, like as human beings. I kind of think that they're assholes, but as wrestlers, they're fantastic. And Ospreay and Swerve Strickland are probably my two favorite wrestlers in AEW right now. So I have no doubt that this match is going to be absolutely awesome. And if you gun to my head prediction, Ospreay and Swerve probably win.
So when you talk about stakes, this match 100% has them with the fact that if Osprey and Swerve win, the Bucks lose their EVP position and powers. However, if the Bucks win, the Osprey and Swerve can't challenge for the titles. That alone, I think, tells me how this match is going to end. Had it not had that stipulation, I would have predicted the Bucks to win with a returning Jack Perry helping them win. I think though that Osprey is still going to be set up as your next challenger to the title come their England show coming up at the end of August, I believe it is. And obviously he can't challenge for that title if they lose this match.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of it, we're gonna have obviously a real good in-ring match. Other than the Bucks no selling a whole bunch, but I mean it's AEW, so pretty much everybody no sells. Um, so I think that Osprey and Swerve stand tall just because of everything else that's going on around it.
Yeah. Osprey and Swerve are so much fun to watch. Like, I mean, the slow build to them becoming a tag team, has been fun and, just especially Swerve. I love watching him in the ring. I think he's absolutely fantastic. He's so over with the crowd and he's just a brutal wrestler. Like not afraid to take a bump, and neither is Osprey, right? Like those two guys sell their asses off, and it's very like almost a very interesting dichotomy between them and the Young Bucks, I think, because like the Young Bucks, in my opinion, are horrible sellers.
Yep,
And I think that like they take big moves all the time and they're right back in the ring. Like,
yep.
ready for the next move all of the time. And I get it. Like, they're trying to present them to be like strong, but like Osprey and Swerve are bigger stars and they have no problem getting laid out all of the time. But I expect this match to be fire, like, top to bottom, and I'm sure it'll be a great match.
I mean the beatdown that Swerve takes alone. And like some of the moves that he dishes out are just so hard hitting and looking. It's just, I mean, when he does that house call kick, it looks like he's going to take someone's head off.
Yeah, no,
So I do expect this to be a relatively hard hitting match, and I don't think it'll be the match of the night, but I think it'll be a close second.
yeah. Moving on to the match for the AEW tag team titles between the Hurt Syndicate, Jet Speed, and the Patriarchy. Who do you got in this one, and what's your expectation for this match?
So before they added the patriarchy to this match, I thought we were going to see a title change. I thought that they were going to have Kevin Knight and Speedball take the belts off of the Hurt Syndicate via some sort of mess up from MJF. But now that they added the patriarchy, I'm thoroughly convinced that they were only added to eat the pin from the Hurt Syndicate. I think that they retain, and the patriarchy losing leads to the breakup of the patriarchy and Edge and Christian getting back together.
You don't think Edge is coming back at this show
No, I don't
for
think
that?
it makes sense. I don't think it makes sense to have him back at this show.
The big pop,
Um,
though, a big stadium show.
oh, 100%. But if they're really going to go the direction of Cope and Christian forming a team, God, I hate that name.
No,
Um,
it's Edge.
almost, almost as much as JC Mateo. But
Not
if they're gonna go that story, I don't think it really makes sense to have him come back here unless the patriarchy loses and Nick Wayne just starts beating the hell out of Christian and Edge comes back to save him. Um, is about the only way I could see Edge coming back.
Yeah, I don't think it's time for Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin to lose the titles yet. Like, I mean,
No.
they've had them for a little while now, but like Bobby Lashley's so damn dominant, and like I think you need to kind of keep him like dominant. I think for a little bit while longer until you're ready to have him do a singles run of some kind. But the top of your card is so heavy right now that I don't think that there's really a place for him, and I think frankly he deserves to be, with a title around his waist and at the top of whatever whatever kind of division he is in, if you want to call it tag team, mid card, or the title picture. Bobby Lashley's a killer. I've said it 1,000 times on this channel. I think Bobby Lashley is one of the best specimens of a human being on this planet.
Yep, I 100% agree with you.
So, moving on, we have the match between Adam Cole and Kyle Fletcher for the AEW TNT title. What do you think about this one?
Um, I've had my thoughts on Adam Cole for a while now. I think that I will give him credit. I think he's started to look better in the ring as more time has passed since his return from injury. Um, however, that being said, I'm pretty sure that they stuck a rocket up Kyle Fletcher's ass, and they, I think that they want to put the title on him at this point. That way, he gets pushed to the top of that division and eventually finds his way back to Osprey one way or another.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I also like Adam Cole. I mean, I liked him much more when he was in NXT with the Undisputed Era. But I think he's kind of, to your point, I think he's, definitely starting to find his own a little bit. But yeah, the rocket is definitely around Kyle Fletcher right now, and I think that he needs to win this title. So I
Well,
expect
he's hot.
yeah, I expect it to be a good match, and I'm sure the crowd would be very much behind it. But at the same time, probably the second match on the show, just because like looking at all of the other matches, this seems like probably one of the lower ones like on the card overall. Maybe the Casino Gauntlets, which we'll talk about in a moment. But yeah,
If I'm AEW, I put the women's casino gauntlet at that second spot.
let's talk about that now because I know you had some stuff to say about that women's Casino Gauntlet match. So take it away.
So we're what, 2 days out from this event, right? And this is one of their biggest shows of the year. This isn't WWE having Saturday Night Main Event and only having three matches announced. You have a match that is for the number one contendership for the women's title, and you're 2 days out, and you only have two people announced for this match. Who are the other four people going to be? Like,
And
how do you not have at least the majority of the match filled out. I mean, I could see maybe if you're missing one or two people because you want surprises, but to have only Chris Statlander and Megan Bayne, like how do we even make a prediction as to who's going to win this match? Like, I mean, between the two people that are currently announced, I'd put it on probably Megan Bayne, but I just without knowing who else is going to be there, I don't know who else to put it on. I mean, I heard talk about it being Britt Baker, but then I've also heard talk that she wants out. And based on the way they've treated her, I lean more towards that part probably being true than her being in the match.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not surprising to me because I think AEW's women's division, AEW does not give a crap about its women's division.
No,
So this kind of thing doesn't surprise me. But I don't know. I mean, I like Megan Bayne a lot. Like, if I want to say something positive about it, I like Megan Bayne a lot, and I hope that like they strap a rocket to her because she's fantastic. Um, but with that being said, I don't really give a crap about this match because
no,
whoever wins this match is going to lose to Mercedes Hogan. So, like,
yeah, we'll get to that, but
it
um,
doesn't really matter much.
I just there's no stakes to the match because you don't know who's in it. Like, there's no, at least like with the men's match, which I'm sure we'll talk about after this one, there's like interpersonal relationships between several of these guys.
Mhm.
And like, but with this women's one, what reason do we have to give a shit?
Yeah. Well, you're exactly right. I mean, let's just move on to the men's one,
Yeah.
I guess. You've got for the same for a world title shot, you've got Brody King, Ricochet, Bandito, MJF, Mystico, and Mark Briscoe. I don't know who's going to win this one. Like, to be honest with you, I like the idea of MJF winning this one, but I don't think that they're ready to put him back into like the title conversation yet. So I'm really on the fence about it. Could this be the time for Ricochet?
So I'm of the kind of a similar opinion. When MJF first qualified for this, I assumed it was going to be him because this was their easy way to get him back into that picture. But then to have both Mystico and Mark Briscoe qualify, who he is feuding with both of them, I have a hard time seeing him get through two people against him. Especially because I don't know that the Hurt Syndicate's going to back him up here, in this kind of match. And I mean, I still think he probably percentage wise is the favorite, but I think that this is a better opportunity to boost somebody else up. And I think there's two options. I think it's either Ricochet when he has whoever he's been trying because the last several weeks, month or so, he's been trying to find people to start a faction because he's seen how many factions are in AEW, and he's trying to work his way through that faction. Um, and they no they so I could see them maybe coming out and helping him win.
Mhm.
But the other option I think is Brody King. I think they have been high on Brody King for a while, and the fact that with Aleister Black gone and whatchamacallit out hurt still, Buddy Murphy, I think that this is the time for them to give Brody King a shot. So personally, I mean, I think it's going to be one of those two. I'm leaning more towards Brody King myself.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, I think you're right. I think the dude definitely deserves a shot. I don't foresee him as world champion material, but certainly putting him in a program, assuming we get a new world champion, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Do we know? It just says a future world title shot, right? It doesn't say when.
Yeah, I think it just is a future world title shot. I'm just reading it here on cage side seats. It looks like it just says a future world title shot.
Okay, because I'm curious, because you'll get my thoughts on the main title here shortly, but I'm curious when exactly that title shot will be.
Yeah, I would assume it'll probably be at just one of their, one of their TV tapings, well, one of the bigger ones that they do, one of the
One of their named
their name-
episodes.
yeah, they're named TV tapings that they do one of the bigger, longer ones they do, I would imagine. Um, okay. So let's move. We've got three matches left. Let's move into probably the match that everyone is definitely chomping at the bits for here, and that's the match behind you between Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada for the title unification match, the Continental Championship and the International Championship. I think this match is going to be off the friggin' chain. And I gotta be honest with you, I have no idea who's going to win this. I leaning Kenny Omega, but I don't know. I really don't know where they're going to go with this.
So this is 100% going to be the match of the night. I know
Yeah.
this is the match that I am looking forward to the most. They having, especially having seen these two go at it live, at Forbidden Door in Toronto a couple of years ago, and it was also the match of the night then. Um, it was incredible. I think that I think Omega wins here though, because I think he's Okada has had that belt for like 2 years now. Omega has only been back for what, 6 months. Okada keeps standing tall on these episodes, and I think Omega overcomes and is the first holder of whatever this fancy new title they're going to have is going to be. But I will say that this match is going to be, like I said, the match of the night, and the moves that they pull out and the story they tell in the ring is going to be, and in the rating system of Dave Meltzer, 17 stars.
Well, only 17 if it's in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, true. It'll be 16 because it's in Texas.
So that takes us to the two matches I think we're going to have the most to say about here. So let's start with Mercedes Hogan versus Tony Storm for the Women's World Championship. I mean, I kind of feel like it's a foregone conclusion that Mercedes Hogan is going to win. Um, but what do you think?
I think it's a terrible thing that Tony Storm is going to be fed to Mercedes Moné. Um, the character work and the stories that Tony Storm has been telling, as goofy as it all is, has been some of the best things in women's wrestling since she started doing it. Her matches with Mariah May, her friendship with the Asian girl, I can't remember her name at the moment. It just,
Yeah.
yeah, Marina Shirakawa. It just, she has been single-handedly saving AEW's women's division, while her opponent has been single-handedly destroying AEW's women's division. It is the dichotomy of it. I'm going to use a big word here, take it out of Michael Cole's notebook. The dichotomy of it, of like, it's one is the villain, one straight up the hero. And it sucks that the villain is going to win here because it doesn't do anything to help that women's division. If anything, it hurts it because her having all these titles is just taking away opportunities from all these other women.
You
And
don't
she's a
think that?
terrible wrestler.
Yeah, well, that's a given. She's dangerous. Like uh, she, first of all, she botches like every match, and I've said this to our audience for a while. Like I do not hate AEW, but I only watch the AEW pay-per-views. I do not watch weekly AEW TV. So with that being said, the only exposure I get to her is when she was in WWE and her pay-per-view matches now. And every pay-per-view match I have watched with her, there have been botches and there have been, frankly, almost injury attempts in every single one of them. Whereas the person she was wrestling has, like, barely escaped a really serious injury in almost every single match she's been in. She's awful in the ring. I don't know what people see in her. I didn't
Nope.
like her in WWE. I don't like her in AEW. Go back to Hollywood. Like you're not a safe wrestler. And I know that there's always stories out there about her, her creative control and whatnot. But like she's burying all of these women and taking opportunities away from all of these women. And it's such a shame to your point that the most old, the woman who's done the most for women's wrestling in AEW in Tony Storm is going to get fed to this to Mercedes Hogan.
I think the other terrible thing about it too is her attitude. Like, she has this holier than thou, better than everybody attitude, and the WWE doesn't do anything to or not WWE, AEW doesn't do anything to dissuade um dissuade the attitude that she gives anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just it's super disappointing to me. So that takes us to the main event between John Moxley and the Hangman, and it's going to be a Texas death match. Um, are we getting a title change here? Are we actually going to get a title change here?
I don't think so. So for the fact that they made it a Texas death match, automatically tells me that it's going to be interference in typical AEW fashion, where it's going to be an overbooked mess, and absolute ridiculous interference from everybody. You're going to have the rest of the Death Riders interfering. I bet you see Swerve, you see Osprey, you see Willow Nightingale, you see literally everybody that could possibly interfere. You'll probably see the Young Bucks, and it just I'm real worried, real worried that it's gonna not be that it's not gonna be Hangman winning. Um and at first I was a firm believer that we were gonna see a title change. As it's gotten closer though, I'm not so sure. I part of me is thinking they might still hold off until that England show and Osprey.
It's their biggest show of the year.
It is.
You got to do this now. Like you really got to do this now. This title reign has been abysmal. Your world championship, and it's the one thing I will give AEW a lot of props for. I think that title is stunning. Like I want to get one for myself, like to display
Yep.
on my wall. I think it's a beautiful title, and um you really need to be displaying that like regularly. Your champion needs to not walk around and look like a homeless person and not
Yep.
carry the title around. Like, this John Moxley experiment in AEW, it needs to come to an end. It is not interesting. I don't want to hear anybody say that he is like Roman Reigns or Roman Reigns like this dude can't hold Roman Reigns' jock. He doesn't have the charisma that that dude had. This is not the bloodline. This is
But
not that storyline. It's not even close. Like
when
it's
whenever I hear anybody say that it's AEW's version of the Bloodline, I want to laugh in their face because you're right. It's not comparable at all. John Moxley does not have the charisma or the in-ring skill that Roman Reigns has.
Mhm.
And like so yeah, Cesaro is great in the ring. And however, Squealer Yuta doesn't really have he doesn't even compare to Big Jim. I mean, like, and Marina Shafir, other than being women's greatest wrestler, is just I don't know. I just the only thing that I could see saving this show, especially with the way that AEW likes to book things, is Daniel Bryan coming out and helping Hangman win at the end.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be a cool moment.
And I mean, it's been almost a year now. We're 2 months, I think, outside of a year that Daniel Bryan went away. I think it was in September of last year when Moxley won the title. So about
It hasn't even been a year since
it's been
that.
about 10 months.
Oh.
And I know that when they had their Mexico show, Daniel Bryan had a run in afterwards there. So that tells me that he's at least ready to do run-ins. I think that's the only way that AEW saves this story. And I think that it needs AEW to survive, needs Hangman to win, and Daniel Bryan to come back. Even not even as a wrestler, just as a personality.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this needs it needs saving, right? Like this, it's such a bad look for your world title, for your biggest title to not be on television. It's not edgy, it's not cool, it's stupid. It's really stupid. And like, there's no shock with this. Moxley has no charisma whatsoever. The Death Riders are not interesting at all. They're not. And, they've had opportunities to take the title off of him. We said the same thing with Roman, right? But like, Roman, so many of those title reigns where it could have ended. This is the time to do it. Like this has to be the time to do it. And I really hope that they do the right thing here.
Yep.
So that's going to be All In, which is going to be coming to you this Saturday on pay-per-view. Any final thoughts on the show?
I just In order for AEW to stay relevant, I mean, outside of arguing with some of our fellow friends who are huge AEW fans, in order for AEW to stay relevant, they need this show to be not just a success, but a resounding success. And they're already setting themselves up for failure with the Mercedes Moné part. They desperately need that main event to go well for them. And I hope they do because you, Terrence, and I talk about it all the time. The competition is good. We want AEW to be doing better because then it pushes WWE to be better, which is what
Yep.
our main focus is. And I
Yep.
want to be able to talk about WWE being better. So I hope for the best. I don't understand people who love to hate on one or the other. I sincerely, for all of these athletes, I hope for the best for them, and I want to see something good out of this.
I completely agree. I want this show to be great. I know that some of the matches on this show, we've talked about it, are going to be excellent. The one behind you is going to be probably one of the matches of the year, you
Yep,
know? So they've got the talent. It's just that the way the very top of the card right now is being booked is just not the best. And
nope,
they need to do a better job with it. They need to get these titles onto a better person. And if it ends up being Mercedes and Moxley who walk out of here with the titles, it's going to leave a lot of sour tastes in the mouths of a lot of fans, I think.
yep.
But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So, anyway, guys, that is our breakdown of AEW All In, which is coming to you guys live on pay-per-view this weekend. And there's going to be a lot of good wrestling this weekend. Take a look at our channel. We've done some predictions for Evolution, Saturday night's main event. There's also going to be an NXT show this weekend for you as well. So, check out our reviews. We're going to have them all up for you. We're going to break them all down. We'll also have we'll do a review as well of we'll probably do a SmackDown review along with the NXT review for you guys as well. We'll get that to you guys this Saturday as we usually do. So take a look for all that content as well as our NFL stuff that's going to be coming to you guys hot and fast soon because the season, believe it or not, there is a real live game this month. And it's
Is
coming to you
there?
guys sooner. Yeah, the very last day of the month is the first preseason game of the
God, I
month.
can't wait.
Yep. So it's coming to you hot and heavy and fast and furious. So with that, I've been Mike with the 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by my main man, Mr. Sean O'Neill. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining us. Smash that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Have yourselves a great evening and take care.